red.
It's red.
You can't interrupt. Sit.
Is there a fire? Did you lose a limb?
She said, no, but nobody's taking care of these kids. I gotta get out of here and check on them.
Oh my gosh. Can't ever do nothing. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another informative vlogcast.
Yeah, what's up? We are trying something new with our kids. I posted on my Instagram that we think we possibly figured out something that's gonna help us not lose our mind while working from home and trying to take care of the kids and everything else. I had a lot of people post on my picture and say, like, you just have to have a schedule, you need to have a routine, and lots of people posting and commenting about Jordan Page and her block schedule system, which is great and wonderful, and like Jordan Page is amazing. If you want some like actually helpful tips, better than these tips, go check out her page. But we have found that it's more our problem than it is like the kids necessarily not doing what they're supposed to do. We tend to kind of be pushovers sometimes, and we have a hard time saying no. Respecting the boundary of time is not really something that I've ever been taught to do or like been okay with. So I have a really hard time with that with my kids. So as much as we would set up a schedule and set up a routine, we have a hard time keeping a routine ourselves, but it would also be like, okay, we're gonna set up a time where Cullen's like, okay, I'm gonna go and edit this video and I'm gonna hurry and try to get it done. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna take the kids and I'm gonna get them started on their schoolwork. Well, then Cullen would like hear the kids fighting or hear me like yelling at them or needing them to do something different and have this like feeling of like, oh gosh, I should go help. And
I'd have my headphones in and I'd be pausing like every 2 seconds, hitting the space bar. Like,
do I need to be?
Good? Do I need to go like enforce my will? And like my, you know, like do I need to go help out tag team?
And I think
Katie, but
part of that is due to the fact that we're working a lot in our lives and in our marriage on direct communication instead of like indirect or passive aggressive or whatever other type of communication there is that we were both kind of grew up with, that you should just be aware if somebody's like, seems like they need help, you should just do it. Or somebody would, instead of like saying, hey, I need you to like help with this, it like, would be,
oh, my stomach's growling, as opposed to just saying, yo, I'm hungry, do I get anything to eat?
Or, yeah, right. And that's a problem, like a personal problem that we are both working on. So if we have a need, saying, hey, I need help with this, instead of being like, oh my gosh, these kids are driving me crazy. Like, that was where he'd be like, well, is she saying she needs me to help with them? Or is she saying like she's just venting? And so that's where it got to the point where neither of us, even if we were separated in the house, we weren't able to fully focus. And I felt incredibly overwhelmed by the feeling like I had to always be on in mom mode. And so I went to a doctor's appointment last week. So I was actually like physically away from the house, couldn't hear anything, couldn't do anything about anything if I needed to. And I was like, we need a way where this is what happens, where we know that we are not gonna be interrupted at all. And as much as Cullen would say, like, I'm gonna keep the kids away and I won't let them interrupt, he'd turn around for 2 seconds and all of a sudden they were running back. And I'm like, you're supposed to have the kids. And he's like, I turned around and they ran off and never found you. We were like, let's set up something so that we can fix this. We came up with something that so far has been very helpful, and it makes it so that we don't feel guilty when they come and knock on the door and we say, no, you can't come in here, and they have no idea how long that's gonna last or when we're available or when we're not available. They know, based on the system that we're about to show you, exactly when we are available, when they can talk to us. They know who to go to. Instead of them going to ask Cullen something, he's like, I'm trying to do something, go find mommy. They know. So we're gonna start something new, so we make sure that everybody has everything they need when they need it, and that y'all always can ask us questions if you need to, okay? So what we're gonna do to make it a little bit easier, since we're all home all the time and it's kind of hard to keep everything straight, this board has daddy and mommy written on it, okay? Certain times of the day, if you have a question or if you need something or if there's a problem, it's gonna have one of us show up on the board, and whoever's showing up on the board, that's who you ask your questions to, okay? So who's it say on there now?
Mommy.
Rose, who's it say?
Mommy.
Mommy. So if you needed help getting your shoes on, who would you ask?
Daddy.
Mommy, because that's who the board
So you
says.
ask mommy for the whole day?
Only mommy. Well, it won't be for the whole day, so we'll change it at different points during the day. So when mommy's doing something, it'll say
Daddy.
Daddy. So if it looks like this, and you can't find your iPad and you need it, who would you ask?
Daddy.
Yes. So anytime it says this, or if y'all start fighting and somebody needs to like go to timeout, or somebody needs to go outside or go to the bathroom, who would handle it?
Daddy.
Okay. If you come down from your nap and it says this, who would you talk to?
Daddy.
Okay. But then you know that soon after it'll switch. If you came down from your nap and it said this, who would you look for?
Mommy.
What if you come down for your nap and it says this, but daddy's sitting in the kitchen and mommy's not in here, but it says this? What would you do?
Go for mommy even though daddy's sitting in the kitchen.
Yes.
And there may be days where both of our names are showing.
And mommy.
Yes.
And if you come, and if I come down from my nap and I fly and I can't find it, you'll
Yes. If it says mommy, that's right. What game?
what would it look like if we could ask both of y'all? Would y'all put the purple thing in the middle?
We would just take it off like that. So that means you can ask either of us a question. So if it looks like this, and every time everybody comes down from their naps, everybody always wants to know where mommy is. What if you come down from your nap and it looks like this? And mommy's in the kitchen and daddy, you don't know where he is. What would you do?
You would look for daddy
Yes.
and not mommy.
Right.
Because mommy might be doing something.
Right. And even if it doesn't look like mommy's doing something, it's still daddy's turn. So that means you both get a chance to help you guys when you need help.
Okay, so
And y'all
that
can always get one of us if you
would
need us.
definitely make things easier.
You think so? Good. What do y'all think about that idea? You like that? So you'll always know who. So this morning, Daddy is gonna be doing some work. So we're gonna have it say,
Mommy.
Mommy. Now let me show you our other thing that we're gonna do to
Okay.
make life a little easier. This is something new too. This is where we're gonna be when we're working, usually, one of us. So we've got this little thing on the door, and we have red, and we have yellow.
You mean orange?
Well, yeah, it's kind of orange, isn't it? Okay, so we're gonna put one in here. If it's red, that means somebody is working on something very important. Do not interrupt unless it is an emergency. This also means Mommy can't interrupt Daddy either
Okay.
if he's in here. Or if I'm in here, if the door is shut and this red thing is in here, you don't come in unless something's on fire or somebody is bleeding
I know
or
why I
dying.
put it right here so we could see it from out there.
That's right.
What does orange mean?
So if it is orange,
Oh, somebody can get out of the house and there's fire in the house.
if there's fire in the house, you can always interrupt, okay? If it's yellow or orange, that means you really shouldn't interrupt, but if you have a question or you just want to stop in and give somebody a hug or say hey real quick and then leave again, that you could come in and ask a quick question, but you can't stay and hang out. It's kind of like caution. Like red means stop, don't come in. Yellow means slow down. Like you can knock and say, can I come in? And then if you have a question, you can ask it, or if you need to tell somebody
and
something.
if you're not there, you can come in. Somebody will say no or yes.
That's right.
But if you see, but you don't have to ask that question because of this.
Well, you would still knock. You still should knock, just to make sure, because that could mean somebody might say, yes, hang on, I'm right in the middle of something, let me finish it, and then you can come in. But if there's nothing in there and the door's open, that means you're welcome to come in and hang out or chill or talk to us or do whatever. Do you have any questions about that?
Yes.
What?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, so here's the cool part. We're gonna give y'all one of these and one of these to go on your doors for your room. So if there's a time, since everybody's home all at once and if that gets a
That
little
will
overwhelming.
definitely make it easier because Brooks always wants to come in my room and tell me that his light is red or his line is. And this morning he was like that, and I had my door locked, and he was knocking, and he said, Gaines, and I was doing the stamp thing, and I said, hang on, Brooks, I'm doing something. I'll come down there in a minute.
Okay, that was good. You don't want to always leave red up, because think about what if we had the red up all the time? That would probably be like not fun, right? Confusing. So you want to know that if the red's up, it will come down eventually, right?
So, and if there's nothing in my door or Brooks' door, that means we can go in that room.
Right. So you want to make sure, that means that if y'all get overwhelmed or you feel like you just want to be by yourself and nobody interrupt you, you can go up to your room and put one of these on your door and nobody will interrupt you. Not even Mommy and Daddy. Yeah? So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Got it? Kind of.
Yeah.
You have any questions?
No.
Okay.
How does the red stay in? Is it?
It's closed at the bottom. Put yours on your door right here. All right, and here's yours.
I'll just.
Okay, do you remember what the orange means?
That means you can ask somebody a question.
And then what would red mean, Brooks, if you had red on your door?
No coming in.
Nobody can come in, right?
Yeah, I'll put that for now.
Okay, here look, we can keep them in here for now.
I said everything is coming on a reel today because everything can be easier.
Everything can be
A
easier.
lot of new stuff is coming in our world today. That's what it's gonna do, is make it easier, hopefully.
Hopefully. It's only been a few days in the process because we hit a weekend, and that kind of is free for all in general because we don't really do much as far as the work goes, as far as having focus. I told you that first day, I was like, I just want to cry happy tears after I got done because I was like able to comment back to all y'all in the comments section and go post everything like it needed to be posted and focus. And I could kind of hear muffled screams and stuff in the background, but it wasn't like, I was like, okay.
But you knew I wasn't expecting you to help.
Yeah.
That's been the most helpful part for me. Y'all may even hear them screaming in the background right now. We have up red, so we know that they're not dying. They'll come knock on the door if they're dying. For me to be able to do my work and like actually focus, and for me it's not even as much hearing somebody as it's not knowing what is gonna walk through the door at any minute. Like instead, so I don't think this may be something we didn't even say when we were going over it, is that we have put a time frame like to us, because the kids don't necessarily tell time, but for us, like I've said, okay, from 10 to 1, you are gonna be completely uninterrupted. I will not interrupt you unless I need something urgent.
Yeah.
You've had an idea of exactly how long you have, when it will end. Up until that point, it's
I can
not gonna
check
happen.
Twitter, I can do whatever I want. Like
guilt-free
Guilt-free.
time.
After I finished one time editing earlier, I got on, I played my little game on my phone for about 30 minutes and then got back to some comments and just laid on the bed.
You need that, like as a person. There was a video I watched actually, we'll leave a link to it in the description, about like working from home or with your kids or your family at home with ADHD especially is really hard because transitions are very important to allow your brain time to like kind of decompress.
I was about to say, as much as it's important for us to like have that guilt-free system down, as you saw in the footage, you could tell like a relief on games. Like they, just like their sleep schedules, they live and go by a schedule so much better than just like, well, I guess we're gonna go do this now in about 30 minutes.
I feel like our schedule is still, we're not very, maybe it would help if we were, but we're not very super strict. We broadly have an outline of like morning, nap, school, like whatever, but we're not super strict on like, oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock and everybody's not in bed, because days vary, especially right now. Some days they nap and go to bed later, some days they don't nap and they go to bed earlier, so.
In the house sitting on fire, so they didn't know.
I know, I was like, shoot, were they about to knock the house there?
Or
one of them knocked the other one upside the head.
System.
I know, right? Watch them come in. See, this is what I'm talking about though, like knowing like, shoot, they could walk in any minute, which they shouldn't right now. But we've basically, in our lives, I've only in the past like 2 years learned what boundaries are and that they are okay. And not only are they okay, but they're important and vital to your mental stability. We've lived in a house where there like isn't any. You can ask anybody, talk to anybody whenever you want to and interrupt and all of the stuff. And that's like not a healthy way to live for anybody. So it's not as much about like, you need to be seen and not heard as much as it's like, during this time, I need to be my own person and do my own job, do my work. When it's your time to have your quiet time, you need to be your own person, do your own work, and we won't interrupt you. So far it's been helpful. Hopefully
it's created respect between all of us, more respect than, I mean, we've always had respect for each other, but like just the whole respecting the color on the door, it creates respect outside of the door, like just the whole putting yourself in the other person's shoes in a sense. Gaines, like you could tell again, she was relieved that I can put a red up and Brooks won't bother me in the morning, because she just likes that time to wake up and he's ready to go ride a horse when he wakes up. Like, it's just like,
well, and the mommy and daddy thing on the fridge too, I think when I first explained it to you, you were a little confused about whether it went like just with the colors on the door or separate. And it's been nice to have that as a separate thing where like, there's times when they just always come to mommy naturally. Kids do.
Yeah,
It's always, everything is to me.
I know it's annoying for me, so I know it's gonna be
It was driving me
10 times
crazy.
annoying for her.
Like, he'll be standing in the kitchen and hand them a snack, and they'll run back to the bedroom and ask me to open it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's right there. He just asked
They're
me
like
to just
cats
give it to you.
with a can opener. As soon as you turn on your hairdryer, they run back and start asking you and telling you a story.
Yes, and I'm like,
what?
I can't hear you right now. So it's been helpful to be able to, like, if there's a time in the day when I'm feeling like I can't answer another question right now, I can say, okay, I'm putting daddy's name up here. So even if I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm just looking at my phone, or I'm doing the dishes, or I'm doing laundry, you go and find him and ask him if you need something. Don't talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs their own space. Hopefully it'll continue to be helpful. If you guys have done anything like this, let us know. If you have any suggestions or want to try it or whatever.
Yeah, tag us on
Let us know.
Instagram and all that. I want to see some,
Love to hear
some
opinions.
red and yellows.
Yeah.
And any other variations that you might have out there.
Yeah.
Good job,
Yeah.
mommy.
Thanks. I hope it continues, Daddy.
Your name's on the board right now after this is over.
Not when it's red. Nobody is on the board.
Oh, well, right now we're safe.
Yeah.
We could just leave that all day.
The important part is too to
You
start
gotta
it
let
out
them know that
with
we're
shorter
coming out.
periods of time,
Yeah,
so they're
yeah.
not like, this is terrible.
Thank y'all for watching.
Good.
We got some fun stuff coming up. Stay tuned. See what happens. Bye.